If you're scared for your grown kids, that's normal. That's not a character flaw. It doesn't mean you're a control freak. Well, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't mean that. We'll get to that later. Okay, grab your coffee or your Diet Coke. No judgment here. Today, we're talking about something that I think keeps a lot of us awake at night, but we don't really want to talk about it much. Fear. And I'm not talking about the obvious stuff like, I'm afraid they'll get in a car accident or I'm afraid they'll marry someone terrible. I'm talking about the sneaky fears, ones that don't announce themselves, the ones that just show up in how we parent and make us do weird things. If you've ever caught yourself hovering over your adult's child life and thought, why am I like this? This one's for you. But first, I need to say something important. If you're scared for your grown kids, that's normal. That's not a character flaw. It doesn't mean you're a control freak. Well, maybe it doesn't mean that. We'll get to that later. It doesn't mean you don't trust God enough. And it definitely doesn't mean you screwed up as a parent. It just means that you are a parent. And once you're a parent, you're never not a parent. It's like the worst subscription service. You can't cancel it even if you wanted to. But here's the thing, fear mixed with love can turn into some pretty exhausting patterns. And I'm tired. So let's just talk about it. Okay, fear number one, I'm afraid they'll struggle. Yeah, this is a big one. Watching your kids struggle when you know you could fix it, that's brutal. You could send the money, you could make the call, you could smooth it over with that person, you could just handle it. And every instinct in your body is screaming at you to do something. I mean, we spent decades preventing them from putting forks in electrical outlets and eating dog food. And now we're just supposed to watch them make bad decisions. But here's what I had to learn the hard way, struggle isn't the same as danger. And rescuing them from every hard thing isn't the same as loving them. Sometimes the struggle is where the actual growth happens. And I hate that. I really do, because it would be so much easier if we could just keep fixing things forever, but I can't, and neither can you. Now, fear number two, what if their pain means I failed? This one, this one hits different and hits hard for me because we're not just afraid they'll hurt, we're afraid that their hurt means we messed up. When they're struggling, that little voice starts up. Did I miss something when they were little? Should I have done more? Did I do too much? Is this because of that thing I said when they were like 12? Here's what I had to realize. I started treating their life like my performance review. Like if they turned out perfect, I got an A. And if they struggled, I failed the class. And anyone that knows me knows I do not like failing a class. I am an A student. But that's not how this works. You raised a human being, a whole separate person, not a project, not a trophy, not proof that you did everything right. Their life is their life. It's not your report card. Fear number three, what will people think? Okay, now we're getting to the one nobody wants to admit. What if people judge me because of what my kids are doing or are not doing? What will the family think? What will the people at church say? What about the people who watch me parent them and know how I raised them? When your adult kid makes choices that don't line up with your values, or honestly just make you look bad, it can feel so personal. Maybe you need to explain it, defend it, distance yourself from it. This is a big one for me, and that is the defend it. So often parents jump on the bandwagon with, okay, I can't explain this away, so I'm going to have to pivot my position and defend it as if whatever they're doing, it's okay. I was wrong in saying it was not okay, but it's okay now. And you make this defense for them so that way it doesn't seem like you failed at something. And suddenly you're not even parenting anymore. You're doing damage control for your reputation. Can I tell you something? And I'm saying this to myself too. You are never responsible for managing how other people perceive your child's life. That was never your job. Fear number 4. If I let go, will they still need me? This is the quiet one, the one that sneaks up on you. If I stop fixing things, if I stop jumping in, if I stop being the solution to all their problems, do I still matter? We've talked about this before because here's the thing, a lot of us learned early on that in our minds, being needed equals being loved. So when your kids grow up and don't need you to cut their food anymore or drive them places or solve their problems, fear whispers this lie. If you're not useful, maybe you're not important. But mama, listen, your worth was never about what you could do for them. You're still their mom, even when you're not their manager, even when you don't agree with them, and honestly, even when they don't agree with you. You're still their mom, and there's not one thing they can do to change that. The faith part. Here's something that has really helped to change my whole perspective. When I realized that God never asked me to carry my adult children, He asked me to love them, pray for them, and then let them go. And if I'm being honest, I didn't let go soon enough, but I did have to let go. And trusting God doesn't mean I'm never afraid. It just means I choose faith even when I'm scared out of my mind. Sometimes trust looks like stepping back with tears running down your face saying, God, I hate this, but they're yours. Please help them. That's it. That's the prayer. Can I ask you something? Just for a second, be really honest with yourself. What are you most afraid of right now with your adult child? Is it watching them struggle? Is it what people will think? Is it that you somehow failed? Or is it that you won't be needed anymore? You don't have to have it all figured out. Just notice what comes up. And here's what I want you to hear before we're done. Being afraid doesn't make you a bad mom, but letting that fear run the show will absolutely steal your peace and mess up your relationship with your kid. You can love them deeply without carrying everything for them. You can care without controlling. And you can trust God and still feel terrified sometimes. And you're allowed to take a breath in this season. So sit down for a minute, not because you're done being a mom, but because you're learning to be a different kind of mom. And honestly, that might be the hardest thing you've ever done. Thanks for sitting with me today. If this hits home for you, maybe send it to another mom who needs to hear it. We're all out here trying to figure this out. Next time, we're talking about the fear we really don't want to admit. What happens when our adult kids embarrass us and how to deal with that guilt spiral. Until then, breathe, let go a little, and remember, it's your turn now. Before you go, if this conversation resonated and you found yourself thinking, that's me, I did create a gentle over responsibility check. It's just a quiet way to notice what you might be carrying. No fixing, no pressure. You'll find the link in the show notes if you want a place to start.